my background initially was in radio journalism, which is now seen as a traditional technology. And I came this side of the world in 2009 to work on a project in Papua New Guinea, sponsored or funded by AusAid, working with ABC International Projects to work on capacity building with local radio journalists. That was my idea of coming here, is to work with local radio stations in Papua New Guinea and get their editorial standards up and write for radio or broadcast for radio or documentaries. But while I was there, it was a really interesting time in Papua New Guinea. It was 2009, and mobile phones were just taking off. And it changed from a really isolated individual communities in Papua New Guinea to this mobily connected, community all over the country. And it was because affordable mobile phones were available for the first time. And what struck me about these technologies and bringing traditional technology and current technology together was I was on a trip in the Highlands to Mount Hagen to work with the local radio there for a week, and going again to work on radio documentaries or how to write a news bulletin for radio. And I was really struck by how they communicated with their audience, and it was completely one way. And one day, a girl, while I was there, was coming in with a handwritten note into a box that was posted outside the station manager's office, and just handing in a letter. So I asked what the letter was, and it was a request or a dedication for this radio station. So I went out and I bought a 10 Kina SIM card, because each of the presenters and the reporters for the radio station had a mobile phone, and I asked them when they were in studio to put this SIM card in and call out the number. And the first night that they did that, they had 300 text messages. Wow. So a lot of them were dedications or asking for songs, but others, a good percentage of them, were talking about domestic violence in the community or trying to hold politicians accountable for corruption. And so they instantly started this two-way conversation. It was really interesting for me to see how just a simple SIM card could change how a radio station was communicating with their audience. So all of the work that I do a lot of, again, radio training. For BBC, I worked on a Burmese project for a lot of last year, on a project called Linlen Jezeng, which was putting together 35 radio programs for BBC Burmese for young people. And even in a country like Burma, where mobile penetration rivals North Korea, we still used technology. We used a Facebook page and we used SoundCloud to share the radio programs. I can talk about that later. But all of the projects that I work on, I've just got back from northern Nigeria doing conflict-sensitive journalism training. They're all radio reporters, but they use technologies in their job. So it's really interesting for me to see how it's used.